Hi, I see I have 2 people already in the chat room. Today is Wednesday, June 13th, 7 o'clock p.m. For those that watch the live upload, just know if it's not Wednesday, June 13th at 7 p.m. that this is an upload of the recording. And I am just going to go pick up my channel on my laptop so I can read the comments from there. Okay, so I'll start with, we had Liz was in first tonight. So hi Liz, thank you for waiting for me. You were there already, and I'm assuming that Ethel was also ready and waiting. Liz is from New Orleans and Ethel is from Chicago. So thank you girls for waiting for me. Got Dewana, she's here. Hello from Milwaukee. Debbie Cavalog is here. She says hi T, hi. Got Marie Bishop here from Texas. Sarah Ragland says, hey T and everyone. Linda Bowman is here. Hello from Shreveport, Louisiana. And Deborah says she's from Michigan. Got Dora Camarina here. Hello from California. Nita Hooper is here. She says, hi T and everyone. So, got Debbie Williams says hello. Diane is here. Diane, I have you signed up as a person that can monitor my comment section. So if something happens this week like it did last week, please help me out with that. And thank you for agreeing to do that for me. Got Doris Dale here from Tennessee. Virginia Lyle, she says, she says ginger. That's cute. I like that. From Florida. Got Laura Veach. She says hi from Owington, Kentucky. I've never heard of that one. Got Winfred Baptiste. Good night from Trinidad and Tobago. Katrin Hansen says hi T, all the way from Denmark. Hi, welcome. Got Katie. I can't say your last name and my screen is just scrolling. Let me find it again. Hold on. Katie Bismisky, something like that, from New Hampshire. I'm sorry. I know I butchered that one really bad. Got Mary Smith. She says hello everyone from Brooklyn. Got Erica Selman is here. Hi Erica. Got Gloria Patton. She says hello from Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm still down a little bit, so I'm reading to my right. And she said, Diane is letting me know that the Quilted Marine says that he's coming on to moderate, because I added him as well. As far as moderating on the channel, I'll talk about that as soon as I get the shout outs out. Teresa Sandifer from Tennessee. Got Doris Dale said, I was just watching the Quilted Marine on a live feed. He cut his off so he could come watch you. Well, that's really sweet. Hi T from Ontario, Canada. Glad I caught you. That's from Cheryl Starling. Diane 57 is here. Hi Diane. And the Quilted Marine is here. Hi Mark, thank you for coming over. I heard you were live before. Katie, you're so sweet. She says I was close enough. Yeah, the Quilted Marine, he's saying that he just arrived from his own live. They were letting me know. That was really sweet. Got Sheila Hobbs. She says hi T from Ashburn, Georgia. Got Terry Taylor. Hello from Moses Lake, Washington. Got Katrine Hans. Oh, I think I said her name before. So some of you are starting to speak to the Quilting Marine. Anitra Marin Cheek is here. She says, Mark says he's got to get his live show finished so we don't miss you. Eric Otis here. Hi, Eric. And we've got Gift Basket Appeal is here. So thank you all for coming. I have not actually been in my actual sewing room all week because I am still sick from last week, and I'm trying to figure out how did I sit my camera so I know where the actual camera lens, but it's over this way. I sometimes flip it the other way. But so I've still been dealing with bad sinus. When I talked with you last, I told you that I had a lecture scheduled. I actually did that lecture on Monday. And matter of fact, my car is still packed with the stuff. So I'm going to get that out after we get through with this live feed. But I still have my car packed. I could have at least unpacked one container. Maybe I could have had a show and tell. And if we don't have anything to talk about, maybe I'll just go out to my car and get one of the containers of quilts. I have no idea what's in there, but maybe we'll do that if we don't have anything else to discuss today. So if you all want me to pause and do that, just let me know and I'll do that. We got Susan Miller here. Hi from Indy. And Diane was asking, how am I feeling? I have my good days and bad days, and that's the hard thing. Anytime I get a sinus infection, I can't control how it's going to run. The weird thing is I was just surprised that I got the sinus infection because I was already on amoxicillin from a dental appointment. And all I did was I cut the grass. I told you all that last week. And by that evening, I was just out of it completely. And I haven't recovered from it. And it's just like a whole lot of mucus buildup. So I'm just starting now to take Mucinex just to help dry up some of it so I can get through my day and maybe sleep a few hours at night. That's the main thing, is that I'm not sleeping. So I'm a little wore out from that because I'm not able to sleep. So that's my main thing that's going on. I'm still trying to go through the comment section, so stay with me here for a minute. And thank you all for your well wishes. I see those in the comments section as well. Got Sylvia. She's here from St. Louis, Mo. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome to the live chat. Linda Short here from Finland, Ohio. So sorry you're still not feeling well. Thank you so much. Got Lauren Kings here from Dallas, Texas. Bonita Nancy's here. I've been communicating with her in my Facebook group as well as in emails. So thank you for coming over, Bonita. Dewana is saying try vitamin C. And I keep forgetting to get more vitamin C pills as well as orange juice when I go to the store. I do a multivitamin, but I keep forgetting to just get vitamin C. The Quilting Marine says, no worry, just grab something off the wall. That's really sweet. If my husband is looking at this, can you go out to my car and get a container of quilts for me? If you're watching, I have no idea. We'll see what happens. Let's see. People are saying those allergies are just wicked. Yes, and everybody that's had something this time of the year has told me that it has taken them 3 to 4 weeks to get rid of it. And I was just hoping that that wasn't going to be me, but I am on my 2nd week now. We have Darlene Former from Northern Virginia here. Got Donna Myers here. She says hello. Hi, Donna. Got Virginia Lyle. So that quilt behind you is gorgeous. Let's talk about that. Okay, I don't know which quilt, if she's talking about this blue one that's over here or she's talking about my work in progress over there. But we'll talk about both of those. It seems like I do have a lot of my repeat people come to the live chats, but it still seems like every video I get a comment on one or both of those projects. So we'll talk about that. And then she says, push the, somebody is recommending push the fullest with Mucinex. I did have water. I actually left it in my bedroom. Just came straight out of my bedroom over to here. Because I went back and just laid down about 4 o'clock so I can get some rest before we go live. Yes, I will be drinking a lot of water. And I do need to go get some vitamin C because I know that will help. Quilting Marine is letting everybody know that to thumbs this up. And Diane 57, it says, I can't mow grass. I'm allergic. And that's the thing. I have like some pollen allergies, but it's normally the trees that bloom, and then I'm normally okay. And I've mowed grass to help my husband before, just when we first start trying to clear everything out so he's not out there forever by himself. And this is the first time I've ever had such a bad reaction to it. And I don't know if wearing a mask will even make a difference, but currently I'm not cutting any more grass for a while. And Dora says she has a question. Can you tell me how to tell if material is 100% cotton? Guess what, guys? My husband was watching because I hear him bringing a container of quilts. He actually brought 2 containers of quilts. So you can just leave them right there at the door. I'll get them. Thank you so much. Yay! Thumbs up for my hubby. We got, she says, how can you tell if a material is 100% cotton? And that's a good question, Dora. It will be answered in a video. I did find some other fabric around the house that I could do the burn test with that I was talking about earlier. And I am going to be uploading that video. I just need to edit. I just have not been sitting in my sewing area. I haven't been doing anything sewing related. All I did was prep for that lecture that I had Monday night, and I had to actually drive 2 hours to give it. So that's all I've done. But I did record that video, and I just need to edit it and get it uploaded. So your question will be answered via video. Winfred Baptiste says, hope you get sleep and get better soon. Yeah, that's the main thing, is to sleep. Got Bill Phillips says, hello Teaquilts, the Quilting Marine is my brother-in-law. Your quilt on the wall is awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is so nice of you to come over. So you are, he was saying his sister was in here. I thought that's what I read before. But thank you for coming. I appreciate that. And then she says, lemon works wonders with hot tea. So I'm getting some suggestions. I do have lemon and tea, so I could do that. Got Susan Waddles is here. She says, finally caught you live. Susan from Newport News, Virginia. The Quilting Marine says, tell Ray I'm accepting any and all gifts from your collection. I finally updated my first quilting video today. It sucks. Elizabeth from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. That was from the Contranator. So she must have her first video up. Go check it out if you like. You got to start somewhere. Don't be so hard on yourself. Okay. Hello, we got Aisha 1234 says hello. Got Teresa says a mask will help some. Well, if it's only gonna help some, I'm not going back out there. So Gift Basket Appeal is saying hi to other people. My brother must not be in here yet because he hasn't commented. So that's pretty funny. Okay. All right. So let me just, I know some other things are going on in the comment section. Some of you are actually talking to me. Some of you are talking to each other. So if I do miss your comment, you can just put it in the chat box again. I didn't miss it intentionally. It's just an accident. So, I'm still seeing things come up trying to read that and these over here, so it's a little bit confusing for me right now. What's going on with this quilt here, the blue and yellow? It's a quilt pattern that's been out for a long time. It's actually called the Yellow Brick Road. You can Google Yellow Brick Road pattern. When it came out, it was one of the first patterns to actually have you use a small number of fat quarters. So for this size, I think I only needed to use maybe 8 or 10 fat quarters. And I always add in some extra scraps just because that's what I do. And it just showed you a quick way of cutting fat quarters and then how to mix and match them, sew them into a very quick quilt. And it's just all squares and rectangles. And then the ABC quilt, which probably is showing up backwards in the screen because I'm using my cell phone and that's what it does. But we found out that we have better volume and better picture quality on my cell phone. So that's why I use my phone now. So everything now is actually reversed when you're looking at it. That quilt pattern is by Jilene Fitzgerald. I contacted her via post, and this quilt is called Quilter's Graffiti. And she's hoping that she can have the pattern available for you next week. So sometime next week. So when she gets it available, I'll make sure that I announce it on my live channel, and I'll also maybe just do a quick video just to let you know that the pattern is up, a 1 or 2 minute video. A lot of people have been asking me about this. And in addition to these alphabets, she came out with a whole series of the numbers as well that she's using for the back. And I don't know if I'm actually doing that or not. But that's the 2 projects that are showing behind me. I am working on trying to get a supply list video. I have it recorded for the t-shirt sew along, so don't forget about that. We're probably going to start either the 2nd or 3rd week in July. I don't currently have a upload schedule for that. Where we're going to start later is because I'm probably going to be on a trip the 1st week of July. So I won't be available. I won't even be available for my live viewing the 1st Wednesday in July. But if I'm in a place where I can just go live, I'll just go live for a little while, show you where I am. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. What else? Yeah, so I'm going to edit the burn test video, and then I'm going to also edit the supplies so you can start getting your things ready for the t-shirt quilt sew along. The t-shirt quilt sew along is going to be a custom quilt set. It's going to be very big. I will not have any additional sizes. It's going to be 96 inches square when you're finished. So if you don't like that size, I'm sorry, but that's the size that my customer is requesting, and so that's what I'm actually teaching from. You can make any adjustments to that as you like. In addition, if you don't want to do a t-shirt quilt, you can use leftover quilt blocks if you want to use that. That would be a good place for you to start. Or you can just make your own pieces that I'm telling you to build up. I'll be telling you on a weekly basis or however I upload. I'm not making any particular upload schedule. Just as I go, I'll be posting what I have. I will be just telling you what sizes you need to make for that particular video and how many of that particular size to make. And then eventually we'll start putting those things together. So let me just make sure I check the comment section again. I'm laughing because I had the comment I'm reading. Tell us where you're going. They want to know. They want to know. It's a secret. T, have you ever made a breaking the waves quilt? I don't know what that is per se, because people will name a traditional quilt block something different. So let me see if I can do a Google search real quick. My brain is so messed up, I can't even remember the name that I just read. Breaking the waves. Sorry. Okay, let me see if I come up with any images for that. Or is it like an ocean waves quilt, or so I don't know. I don't see breaking the waves per se. I see breaking waves, and it looks like it's more squares. No, I haven't made this particular quilt, but it looks like it's a very easy quilt to do. It's got an alternate block. I've made something probably similar to that, but I have not made that particular quilt. So Erica says she has to go. She just remembers she has to make a video today. See you, Erica. Thanks for watching. So let's see. I just got the tutorial for one. Okay. Diane is asking what type of facing we'll be using. I will have all of that in the video. I have two kinds that I use. If you're going to Joann's, they have a number EK130. I use fusible knit interfacing. I use a knit because, and I talk about this in the video, but I use a knit because I don't want to use a craft bond interfacing because I don't want the shirts to be real stiff when you put them together. We still want this quilt to be something you want to cuddle with. I don't want to be wrapped up in a hard quilt, so please do not buy craft decor interfacing. And then I also buy one that's called Fusi Knit, Fusi-KNIT. I get it from Amazon.com, and it has a 30-yard bolt that I end up paying somewhere around $50, $55 for, so it ends up being less than $2 per yard. And that was cheaper than some of the things at Joann's, but I do talk about some other kind when I upload the video, and that's why I want to get the video uploaded early so you can start collecting your shirts, because you're going to need quite a few shirts for this layout because it's made for at least a queen size bed. It has no borders on it, so if you have a king bed, you just add a border to it to finish it out. I just got asked, how many quilts do you think I've made in my life? I actually have a Excel spreadsheet that I keep everything in, and I don't have it on my laptop though. But I'm just going to guesstimate and say I probably have made over 600 quilts. I have another 180 projects that I have works in progress. Sometimes I will combine those and put them into sampler quilts. A lot of those works in progress comes from me teaching, my patterns, my prepping, because I like to have a quilt that's at every step of my pattern when I'm teaching, because some people learn differently, so I cater to all styles of learning. So I do have a lot. As soon as I finish one of my class works in progress, then somebody will request that class again. So then I have to start making it all over again. So I try not to finish out my class UFOs. I do have about 50 quilt tops that need to be quilted. I'm just so busy with my YouTube channel and then doing lectures and workshops and prepping for other things that I'm involved in that I just don't have time to even quilt my own tops like I want. But I have about 50 tops ready for quilting. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to cough every here and there. I have taken a lot of medication before I came into this room though. Hoping that it works. And then we've got hold on, let me go back up a little bit. The Quilting Marine, that's Mark, he's asking what's my favorite rotary cutter? Actually, my favorite rotary cutter is the Martelli one, but I really wouldn't want to tell you that. I do use it. I also use a lot of the OFA rotary cutters. When they first came out, they just had the straight ones, so I have the straight handle ones, and I use those as well. I haven't had any problems with carpal tunnel yet. I was a research analyst, so I spent 30 years on my computer at work as well as quilting. So I'm not having any difficulties with that yet. I do like the ergonomic ones, and this is just one that I happen to have here that has the curved handle. And I like that OFA also makes it so that I can change the rotary cutter blades. For a right-hander, you would have it on this side, and for me being a left-hander, I'm able to flip it and put the blade on the right side. So I do like that as well. So I have just been one of those people. I've been quilting for a long time. I have a lot of supplies, and so I just tend to use what I have. I don't, if it's a tool per se that's working for me, I may not necessarily upgrade it to the new and upcoming thing. The Martelli rotary cutters have been out for quite a few years, so I did upgrade to those a long time ago, and then I just bought the 60 millimeter, and that's the other thing. I like the 60 millimeter blade over the 45 millimeter blade, just because I think they last longer, and then I don't have to rotate around the blade as quickly as on a 45. Bonita says, so if you don't have t-shirts or extra blocks, what else can be used? If you've got some fabric that you want to feature, like say some K-facet fabrics, maybe this might be a time to do that. You can cut out big chunks out of it, and you can build sashings around that. You can even use some panels. If you've got some panel blocks that are like 8 to 12, 14 inches, you can use some panels as well. So you can be a little bit creative with it. And then I got some people giving us suggestions, triangles and squares. And then they're telling me that you can buy t-shirts very cheap with coupons from Joann's to fill in for other fabric. And you can also, if your shirts are not two-sided, you can also use the front and backs of shirts. Me personally, if the t-shirt, if I'm not using the extra fabric around the t-shirt, and we're going to talk about this more when I start getting into the cutting, then I just personally don't want to add any more t-shirt material. And the reason is because then I have to buy more interfacing to put on the back of those fabrics, because they still need to be stabilized. So I'll just go ahead and start using my regular cottons. And I've made quite a few t-shirt quilts where I've added t-shirts, 100% just cotton fabrics, and I have different weights, and when it's all quilted up, you don't know the difference, and there is no difference in the wear factor from the ones that I've made and used. And I've also made one for my mom that she's used, and she hasn't, hers isn't showing any wear signs either. So in your extra places, if you're just trying to save the fabric so that it's not going into the landfill, then it's great. You can go ahead and use that, but I just don't want to do that. And again, I'm working on a customer's quilt, and I'm only working on the front, a front quilt. I know some people do dual-sided quilts, you know, like they'll have a front of the quilt and then they'll have something on the back of the quilt as well. If I'm doing that for a customer, then that means I need to add on another half of my fee for them, because I'm making 2 quilt tops. So I don't tend to do that for customer quilts. From now on, I will only buy king-size batting. So you must be giving some good advice in the comment section, so I must have missed that. Anitra says she's been using FS101 for her memory bears. Can I use it for the t-shirt quilts? I don't know what that particular number is, because I don't have it in my house. SF101. I'm actually using something that is still, it's a fusy knit, which means that it is a knit interfacing is what I'm using. And what I'm doing is your t-shirts will stretch this way, And what I do is I'm putting the interfacing with the part that stretched this way. I rotate it 1/4 turn. So now the stretch is this way on the back of the t-shirt that stretches this way. So it stabilizes the t-shirt so that I can piece, but it doesn't make the shirt stiff. So just make sure that you've got some give in the interfacing that you're using. I'm just telling you what I have used and what works for me, and I'm giving you an example of what not to use. And do make sure that you use your coupons at Joann's if you're buying it from Joann's. But even through my Amazon with my Prime, without paying any shipping, I don't have to pay any tax. The interfacing that I get online, I end up getting for less than $2 a yard. I think Joann's interfacing might be around $4 to $4.50 per yard. A regular price, if you've got a 40% or a 50% off coupon, you can use that. We got Jennifer here. She says she just found my channel a few days ago and love it. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Welcome to Teaquilts. And then the Quilting Marine is saying Goodwill t-shirts are mad cheap. And I do buy, like when I'm looking for, I'm going to make me a Cardinals quilt. It's not for this video, but I will be making me a Cardinals quilt. And how I got the majority of those t-shirts is I went to Goodwill and got them. But you do have to be a little bit careful at Goodwill, because sometimes you'll end up paying $3 and $4 or more for a shirt. So I try to go on their discount days. And then another tip when you're looking for t-shirts for a particular theme is to not only check the adult section, but go and check the children's section as well. So I find I get more shirts out of the children's section than I do the adult area. It says, do I have a Facebook page? I can show you a photo. Katrine, you have to go to Teaquilts, T-E-A, Quilts with an S on Facebook. Ask to join, and then I can approve that for you. And you can upload there anything quilt related. Anybody else that wants to join the group, you can do that as well. I'm just going to go over here and open up my Facebook, so if I see it come through, I can approve it, maybe while we're here. Sometimes I see it and sometimes I don't. Also check with your friends for used t-shirts. I've done that too. I've only gotten two shirts from somebody when I've done the request, but it's a good try. And the problem is that nobody here wants to use their St. Louis Cardinals baseball shirts in a quilt. Everybody want to keep them so that they can use them. So it's difficult for me to get those shirts for my quilts. Got Mark saying, Diane, wait a minute, I'm skipping. It's running on me again. Hold on. Oh, I can't remember. I can't find where we were. Got Letitia here. She's saying hi. Says, got to be live, just all you do. And Teresa saying she just got that OFA today in the mail. She likes the curve. And then that's So Love says she loves the curve handle. Okay. So I just saw where I got a notification about joining. And I normally wait until after we get this done and go do that. But I'll do that one so I know it's you. Okay, and I have no idea, again, where I am in this comment section. Okay, sure, I've skipped a lot of stuff. People are surprised at how many UFOs I got, or how many quilts I've made as well. And Diane is saying that 600 is spread over many years, I hope. I actually start quilting in July of 1994, so yes, it has. Okay, so I tried to go back a little bit just to make sure. And then got H. Wolf says, one of my rotary cutters keep loosening up. Guess it's time to chuck it. No, you probably need to flatten the piece of wire that's behind there, because sometimes they'll get a little chunky. And of course, I'm not going to be able to get this off now because I want it to come off. Okay. So this little wire that goes on, sometimes it gets a little curved just from the pressure. So try flattening it out and then see if you can. And then also note that there is a shape to this, and this part needs to be put back onto your rotary cutter in the right direction. And then your bolt should go down. And your rotary cutter shouldn't be so tight that it won't spin on its own as well. Don't over tighten it either. I've had my rotary cutters. I have not thrown away one rotary cutter since I've started quilting in 1994. So there is no chucking. I got Jennifer asking about, have I tried the splash? Have you tried this? I don't know what that is either. Got Joe Boxley here saying hello. Virginia Lyle say, do you sharpen your blades? No, I'm not one of those people that sharpen the blades. When that original blue blade sharpener came out, I actually purchased that. I didn't feel like it did anything fantastic for me for the work and the safety of handling the blade even longer. So I do not sharpen my blades. I just get new blades. Now, OFA has come out when I was at International Quilt Festival in Chicago. OFA has come out with some premium blades, and I actually purchased those blades. And so far, they're very sharp and working very well. They appear like you don't have to put as much pressure on the rotary cutter. So I'm really loving those right now. I actually bought a set of 3 because they were running a discount if you bought 3 over just buying 1. And they're even asking about the electrical blade sharpener. I will not be investing my money into that. Oh, we got, so Joe is actually Mary Lou from California. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, I do love the Martelli rotary cutters. I just don't like their company business practices. And apparently the splash must be some kind of a rotary cutter that's easy to change the blade with. And like I said before, I don't tend to upgrade because it's a new gadget. Sometimes if I'm doing a video on it, I may go ahead and invest in it. But for the most part, I miss that kind of stuff because I'm not looking for a rotary cutter per se or new rulers per se. I tend to miss that kind of stuff. We got Deborah Davison here from Prisma Beach, California. Thank you, Quilting Marine, for inviting her to this channel. Well, thank you, Deborah, for coming, and thank you, Quilting Marine. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's some other stuff. You all are talking to each other too. So again, if I've missed any things, somebody, I think Winfred says, how many shirts do she need for a queen size bed sheets? Winfred says, how many shirts do I have to quilt for a queen size bed sheets? I'm making a queen size. I don't know what size of a queen size bed sheet is. I just buy the sheets. So I'm going to assume that it's somewhere around the 96 width or length. So I'm making a 96 by 96 inch quilt is what I'm making. With my customer, I wanted him to give me as many shirts as he was willing to let go of. I ended up, he has shirts that had things on the front and the back. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I want to say he had maybe 24 shirts. I have like 30 medium to large things I can use, and then I have some things that I can probably cut into 6-inch squares, about 14 of those. So that's what I'm using, and then in my other spaces I will just be filling in with fabric. And it's the Quilting Marine is asking, is anyone using the Ginger rotary cutter? I have a Ginger rotary cutter that was given to me as a gift. It was one of those commemorative Ginger rotary cutters that AQS gave out at one of their shows, and I still have it in a box because it's just a collector's item, so I haven't used it. But it resembles to me more of an OFA rotary cutter, so maybe they've come out with something totally different now. Alright, so I think I have answered everything that you asked me. So let me just go get my little self around the corner to get some quilts. I blocked myself in when I came in because I pulled out my patriotic container and I wanted to make a block for the Quilting Marine. And if you all don't know about it, go to the Quilting Marine's YouTube page. He is collecting blocks, patriotic blocks for quilts that he's making. You've got till July 4th to send something in. So I was just trying to do something real simple tonight so I can get mine done. I'm sure this I'm looking at this container. It's got all big quilts. So if you would like to participate in the Quilting Marine's block exchange, please do so. When you go to his page, he has the information in the bottom of his video so that you can mail to him. Okay, this quilt is a charm quilt, and I actually used tumblers with this. When I made this quilt, it was 2011, and a lot of your tumbler quilts didn't do anything with value. I made it for a challenge at my guild. So you may have seen this one already. I'm not sure which challenges I showed you. So this is just one of the containers. I did my scrap quilts lecture at a quilt guild. So that's what this is, and then I'll just try to show you a little bit more. And it just kind of reverses going back. It has over 200 tumblers, and they're all cut from a different fabric. So that's what that is. One of my favorite books is Evelyn Sloppy's 40 Quick Cut Quilts. It might be 40 Fabulous Quick Cut Quilts. I don't have the book in here. And this is one of the patterns that is in the book. And I'm just going to show you a portion of it, because again, I don't have a lot of space here. But she made this quilt in beiges and blues, and I used browns and pinks. And then I added my own border. I think this border is my own. So this is the border. But I really love this. It's called chocolate. No, it's not. It's called blueberries. Mine is called chocolate berries. Hers is called blueberries. And I love that book. She has a lot of fantastic quilts in that book. I wish I could make them all, but I just spend the rest of my quilting life in that one book. So I'm hoping you all saw that one pretty good. Linda says, I love every one of your quilts you show, Miss T. Oh, the binding on that pink and brown quilt, what I did was I just took a straight fabric. The strips were straight across the yardage, And I just took it and I cut my binding on the bias so that I can make the strips slant. Nita Hooper says, T, where can I find African print material? You can go to Scraps, Snaps, and Stamps. Diane Rooney is in the chat room now. Diane, can you just put the name of your business and they can Google the name and just put .com on it, because you can't put a link into the chat box, but you can just type it and then you take out all the spaces and add .com. You can get all of your African fabrics from her. Okay. One more quilt that was in this container. Well, it's actually two more. This one is one that I made a few years ago, but I never got the top quilted because I was waiting for my long arm to come. It's actually a braid quilt. And then I did my braid a little bit different when I made my braids. I then just made rectangular pieces, and I'm not sure what's showing on the camera. And then just made rectangles in the off spaces, and then did the quilting on my long arm. So let me see, when did I start this and when did I finish? My quilts have a long history. I actually made this quilt top in 2006, but it didn't get quilted until 2016 when I got my long arm. So at some point I realized I had so much stuff to do that I couldn't keep using friends' machines. I couldn't piece them or quilt them all on my home machine. So I just started saving them, knowing that one day I would get a long arm machine. And I don't normally go for fall colors, but I really love this quilt top. It's really pretty. And then I have one more in this container, and then I have to go get the second one. Bootsy says she has no room for a long arm machine. I didn't either, but I made room. I just had to rearrange some stuff. But I was like, I'm going to have to do this. I test my family and see if they were using particular rooms. In my family, I have a large family, and we do every holiday at one of each of the homes. And I do Labor Day and Christmas. And so I tested them to see if they went into my sitting room where we have our overflow, and nobody did. And so I'm like, okay, I tested them for like 2 years to see if they were using the room. Nobody was in there, because if it was only 1 or 2 people in there, other people didn't want to go in there because the activity wasn't in there. So they weren't going in there. And I'm like, well, this don't make any sense. I'll just put my long arm in here. This one is huge. I don't even know how I'm going to show you this. But remember when I've talked about that serpentine stitch, where I've told you to use the serpentine stitch and elongate it by increasing your stitch length, and then you can use it to quilt over a design instead of trying to quilt in a ditch? This is a good example. This is a 96-inch square quilt that I actually quilted on my home sewing machine using that serpentine stitch. And here is this is a pattern that I have in my scrap booklet that I sell on my website. So I'm not sure how much of this pattern you're actually going to see, but I want really to show you the back side, to show you the serpentine stitch that I enlarged. So I'm hoping that shows up some, and then I'm going to show it to you in the color on the border. Okay, so actually it's really tight if you don't elongate it, but this is how long it is. And all you need to do is just practice how much you want to straighten that stitch out. And then instead of stitching in the ditch, I actually went around and I did it on this quilt is kind of put like the blocks are kind of going diagonally. They go from center out. And so I was actually quilting the line, so they're actually quilted diagonal, but you can't probably see it here because I've got way too much that I'm trying to show here. This quilt is huge. And I'm just balling it up right now to put it back sort of kind of in the container. And then I'll go get the second container.